Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It is Craig Harris, the black man in the green chair. I'm back with another Craig's Corner. And in this one, I want to talk about the frustration and this disappointment in Xbox One within the Xbox community, and where I think a lot of the frustration and stuff is coming from. And sitting here, being able to talk to different people, with different gaming tastes on the channel, whether it's here or on Twitter or in different people's podcasts with, bouncing ideas and stuff off of each other. It's really important. This is pretty important. And there was a podcast yesterday, so I want to give a shout out. It is the TXR podcast with Randall Thor. But shout out to all those guys, Tim Dog, Southbound. There were I think 4 or 5 guys on there, but I'm going to get to the crux of that video because I'm going to tie that into stuff that I've been able to find out. Yesterday, there was an Xbox gamer on the podcast, Halo Storm, and a lot of the things he said, and also just a couple times I've interviewed guys like I've had guys like Widowmaker, Cycle Gamer. Shout out to both those guys and Gamers United. It's very important that you all go back and listen to the podcast with Gamers United. But I'll tie all that in together here, and I think this is where this is going and where this is coming from. So basically, the Xbox community is extremely disappointed and frustrated with that console. Now, the reason I know this is outside looking in is the podcast I did with Gamers United. He's a big Xbox guy. And shout out to the 2 viewers, by the way, that are watching. Shout out to you guys. But in that podcast, he said something that I think a lot of people really need to pay attention to, and that is that he felt that he felt as an Xbox guy that a lot of people that bought the Xbox One were expecting a lot of the games that the PlayStation is getting. They expected that to be what the Xbox One was going to be. And that spills over. Now, listen to, when I talked to Widowmaker the other day, listen, really go behind what he's saying. He's more concerned with what is on a box than what the box is producing. He's more into, Sony is saying that the games are dynamic, are 4K, and the average consumer doesn't know the difference, and they need to know the difference. And that's the frustration coming out. What difference does it make what Sony puts on their box as long as it's not false advertising? It's not affecting him anyway. Doesn't affect the consumer. So it's part of their disappointment with their own system, and it's led into a lot of frustration. And a lot of this boiled over yesterday, and some of it's still going on today. Look what happened with Cliff Bleszinski. He got attacked by the Xbox community because the game that he created, he put on PC, which is the biggest platform you can put something on, and he also put it on PlayStation 4. It's not like nobody from the Xbox side in a camp, if you want to call it that, said, hey, congratulations, good luck on the new game. Thanks for bringing us great games like Bulletstorm, and if you like that game, Gears of War, things like that. They couldn't get past their own ego, their own disappointment. It was, instead of understanding that Cliff Bleszinski has a business to run and he wants to give the product that he is producing, that him and his team are producing, instead of looking at it like, well, he's trying to get it out to as many people as possible, they look at it like it's a betrayal to them. And that no matter what, if there were 100 Xboxes sold, they would expect Cliff Bleszinski to do a game for that console. They don't care about the man hours. They don't care about the production costs. They don't care about the marketing. They don't care. It's, you got to give us something. So shout out to you, Edwin Pauline. Appreciate you being here. Shout out to you, Kingsman90. So I want to try to go to where all this is stemming from. You got to understand that when the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, you need to go back last generation. It was Xbox 360 that got all the marketing deals. Now that's not happening. You need to ask yourself why. It's not happening because people just didn't buy the Xbox for this generation. They just, for whatever reason, they didn't do it. I'm not going to get into why it wasn't done. But they didn't buy that console, so they're disappointed. And so when they see games like Call of Duty marketing go to PlayStation, that frustrates them. When they see Red Dead Redemption, even though it got delayed, but a major third-party IP go to Sony. Far Cry went to Sony day before yesterday or yesterday. So, all these marketing deals are going to to their competitor, to the non-competing, to the platform they prefer not be on. But it was really important in yesterday's podcast with TXR. So shout out to all those guys again. I want you guys, and I put I believe the link is in the description here. Yeah, if you go down here where it says www.youtube, that's the TRX podcast. It's extremely important that you guys listen from the 33-minute mark, because I understand you don't want if you don't want to listen to the whole podcast, go listen from the 33-minute mark to the 37-minute mark. It is extremely important what this guy said. Because he pretty much said that, and I'll paraphrase, he pretty much said that it is frustrating that games like Horizon Zero Dawn and MLB The Show, those games are coming out on PlayStation, and it makes no sense why they're not coming out on the Xbox. It doesn't matter that that those are first party games. Guerrilla Games made, of course, Horizon Zero Dawn, so that game will never go to Xbox. Okay, it does. They knew that. MLB The Show, they brought that game up. That this goes to show you that the disappointment they have with that console. They don't understand. They don't understand why those games don't go over to their system. And that's the frustration. The frustration has built up to a point where Cliff Bleszinski got attacked yesterday by the Xbox community, to the point where he had to put out a tweet today saying how nice the Xbox Scorpio is and so forth and so on. And he had to do that to placate them because they're upset. Their panties are bunched up. But this is not about that. So shout out to you, EJ Johnson. Appreciate you being here. But that's what this is all coming down to. So they're getting to a point where they're now claiming anti-consumerism. Okay, now just today, another video was done by another big Xbox person, and who said that is disappointed and he's upset that Microsoft. What's going on, Andrew? Appreciate you being here. But this person is upset that Sony does not want to do a cross-play game with Xbox. And he doesn't understand that frustrates them, because that helps. If you're Sony, why would you help Microsoft? Sony's got their foot on their proverbial neck. So they're not going to help them. And Microsoft needs that more than Sony does. Okay? What's going on, guys? Microsoft needs cross-play with Sony. Sony does not need that. Just remember how frustrated they got that Sony turned down EA Access. That was frustrating for them, because it's like, this is a great idea, things like that. And Sony looked at it and said, what's so good about having a game for 10 hours? That's stupid. Either the people want the game or they don't want the game. So why have EA Access? That's part of their frustration. So and it's part of the disappointment. But again, understand what Gamers United said. He said this a few months ago. People bought the Xbox One thinking that, the Xbox One is going to give them the games that you're getting on the PlayStation. I mean, they don't understand that PlayStation has, games like that, games like Uncharted and Horizon. Remember when Horizon came down the pipeline? First, they started producing videos that said, it doesn't look like that. It's blurry. It's been downgraded, I think was the name of some of the videos. And they were running with that. Well, when the final product came out, like a week before launch, Guerrilla Games comes out. They have their press conference with the game. They actually physically show the game running on the regular PlayStation. Then, like a day later, the stuff comes out with the Pro. What's happening with your Superfly TNT? What's up, Dwayne? So when that happened, there was an actual Xbox guy that came out and said, we need this game to get bad reviews. Literally, because they were frustrated they don't get this game. So they immediately, maybe they get bad reviews. It can't be that good. Then the game came out, got outstanding reviews, and what did they do? They had an explosion. They start tweeting Phil Spencer, quote, what are you doing to compete with this game? So, well, EJ, the consumers will win E3. The people who buy the games, that's who wins E3 all the time. So, but yeah, Sony's got to show a lot of gameplay at E3. So, I mean, we've seen what they've got. Now let's see what you got. Let's see these games in action. So, and they showed God of War last year. They showed Days Gone last year. And like a friend of mine said, if Days Gone looked like that last year, what's it going to look like now? So and it looked pretty good last year, and that was an alpha. That was like an alpha build we saw last year. But you already saw the physics working in it and stuff like that. So have to wait and see. Definitely have to wait and see what it looks like. But they want those games. The Xbox community wants those games. They want games like Days Gone. They are extremely frustrated with the Spider-Man game. They don't understand that Sony owns the Spider-Man intellectual property. So it doesn't matter that they're frustrated. Sony will always get first dibs on that game. So they immediately said, well, Xbox can cut a check. And for what? Sony owns that IP. You're going to have to buy that IP from Sony, which now is in a shared universe, i.e. with Disney. Disney has more money than they know what to do with. So the Star Wars Battlefront IP. That's owned. Who owns Lucasfilm at this point, guys? Walt Disney owns Lucasfilm. So, okay, now understand. Sea of Thieves is not going to sell consoles. Days Gone will sell consoles. Cuphead, again, I'm not saying that these games are bad. I'm saying they're not going to sell your console. Okay, Cuphead's not going to sell any consoles. Well, they may sell a few, but what do you think is going to sell more consoles? Cuphead or Spider-Man? Spider-Man will. Spider-Man's the most popular superhero. What's going on there, Call of Duty? Spider-Man's the biggest selling superhero out of all of them. Spider-Man's merchandise sells more than all of them combined. That's all of them. I'm talking about even Iron Man, Captain America, all that combined don't make as much as Spider-Man. And all the DC property combined, Spider-Man makes more money than them like 6 times over. From toys to clothing to whatever. He always sells stuff. So yeah, Spider-Man, and Spider-Man and they're frustrated. Yeah, everything you guys are saying is Superfly laugh my ass off Cuphead. Okay. Cuphead's not going to sell consoles. That's frustrating for the Xbox community when they see games like, and the guy also mentioned again the 33-minute mark to the 38, 39-minute mark. He mentioned games like Persona 5, Nier Automata, Horizon Zero Dawn. They want those games on that console. Make no mistake about it. They don't have access to those games. Now, yeah, I get it. I started the hashtag stop torturing yourself by a PS4. So I get but they don't want to. And shout out to Titanfall Princess because she did a quick 3-minute video yesterday telling Randall Thor just to stop complaining. Randall Thor's made 3 videos in the last 90 days complaining about the Xbox. You see what I'm saying? So my point is that they are extremely frustrated and disappointed. Now look at when Halo Storm came on to the podcast last night. Now look, he's 19 years old, but did you hear how he was literally saying, and this is important. We asked him, why, I asked him, and you all heard me. I specifically said, quote, how come we don't have a sequel to Rise, Son of Rome and Sunset Overdrive? And he said it's because the games didn't sell enough. I said, well, whose fault is that? Now everybody knows whose fault that is. It is the Xbox community's fault because they didn't buy the game. He blamed the media and he blamed Sony 50%, saying that it was their fault. Now you ask yourselves, how is it the media's fault and or Sony's fault that people didn't go out and buy an Xbox game? So yes, he's a corporate slave. Oh, I can't even call him a corporate slave. It's, to me, there's your answer. So yeah, Persona 5 outsold Halo Wars, but they're gonna say to you, what was their answer to that? Nobody asked for Halo Wars. Well, Halo Wars 1 sold like close to 2 million copies. So yeah, he got owned last night. Yeah, I mean, but it's not. But understand where he's coming from. How he was blaming the media and blaming Sony. Sony has nothing to do with Microsoft's marketing, has nothing to do with Microsoft's games. So Rand sound, yeah, if you all listen to that podcast, if you listen to that whole podcast, they sound depressed on that podcast yesterday. So, but again, it's important for you guys to go listen to the 33-minute mark, to the 38, 39-minute mark. Shout out to you, Mr. Rickson. Thanks for coming on the podcast last night. He just tweeted me. So, yeah, I mean, well, there's nothing wrong with being a filthy casual. And so, but, you know, you need to do a sub collaboration with who? But my point is that they are deeply frustrated. So, and again, so shout out to, I mean, go watch. There's a video, and I'm not going to give the name of the guy, but it says, wow, Sony turns down another cross-platforming deal with Microsoft. So, you know, so it's yeah, Microsoft. Yeah, it's not that Microsoft isn't bad at marketing. The Xbox division has lost billions of dollars, guys. That division, no other division of Microsoft loses money like Xbox does. So that's why this new console coming out is their Hail Mary. This is them sending the 6 guys to the end zone and the quarterback throwing the ball up to get it. So so yeah, so it's yeah, but understand Halo Storm he goes by what everybody else is doing. So, and he feels that the media does push. Now, I know as a grown-up that that's not true. I know that already, but listen to what he's saying. Listen to what Widowmaker's saying, you know, and how, you know, and look at what happened with the Destiny release or the Destiny when they came out and told you what it was. How disappointed. They don't care, that they're not excited. The Xbox community is not excited about Destiny coming out, being a brand new game and everybody being excited for it. They're disappointed that it ain't gonna look better on their system. So, well, you're right. I understand there, Inko, but but it's important that you understand. You don't have to listen to him. Just understand the fact that he's even saying something like that. The fact that he even says stuff like that, it shows you the frustration. They're frustrated because they want the games that the Sony side has. Okay, make no mistake about it. You know, they want, again, who doesn't want to play Horizon Zero Dawn? Who doesn't want to play Uncharted Lost Legacy? Who doesn't want to play MLB The Show? Okay, I mean, that's just off the top of my head, not to mention all the not to mention all the Nier Automata's, the Yakuzas, which Yakuza, that's not even a huge Western game. It's just, they're like, yeah, you know, we can bring this game to you, but we're going to subtitle. And it's still sold. You know, so it's frustrating for them to, I mean, I'll get to that. So just understand how disappointed they are in their system and treat them accordingly. They're frustrated. I mean, go to their channels. That thing yesterday, and you look at the weekend that they had the whole Destiny thing hit them in the face. They had Far Cry punch them in the gut, and then they had Cliff Bleszinski kick them in the balls yesterday. So it's, yeah, I've heard nothing but great things about Persona 5. So I'll be getting it. I'm just I'll be getting it next month. But I got to play Nier Automata. I've not been able to play that. I got back into playing Mass Effect because of the 1.7 update. So I may start streaming that here pretty soon if y'all want to watch me stream it. But yeah, they've keeping it real. Shout out to you, keeping it real. Shout out to you, gaming media. Xbox are killing their own brand. They don't even know it. At Microsoft, the best thing you can do is, well, again, understand that Microsoft, this is the second time. If Crap Gamer is being honest, and they turn down another cross-platform deal, Microsoft is reaching out to Sony to do things, and if Sony is not going to help them, So, 92 hours or what? So, 92 hours. Did you play Mass Effect for 92 hours? Name an RPG on Xbox over 10 hours. Well, I mean, there isn't any. So, well, hold on. Well, Dragon Age, Mass Effect, all that's RPG. That's on there. That's on the Xbox. If you're talking about exclusive, I can't help you. So, because I don't know if Rise Son of Rome, if that is a RPG. I haven't played it. So, although I guess technically Forza Horizon 3 kind of is like that. So, but my point is that they being the Xbox community for the most part, they're disappointed in that console. Now, they bought it thinking they were, again, remember what Gamers United said, so shout out to him. And I'm going to tweet him tonight to tell him how right he was. So, boycott what game? So, says Xbox saying boycott this game. Boycott what game? So, what's up, Geo Parker? Okay, why has it been a great week for the PS4 guys? Now, I think they got some new games released today. It's like 4 JRPGs got released today. So, but there wasn't a ton of gaming news today. Oh, Star Wars Battlefront and Far Cry 5 trailers may hit on the 26th. So those may come in on the 26th. I can't get that confirmed, but possibly. You may see some gameplay of Far Cry 5 and some more gameplay of the Star Wars game. So hopefully we get to see that. So, but it really reminds me of the 4K upscaler when he was showing games on his Samsung TV. He was showing the HDR builds and things like that. And I remember he showed Ghost Recon Wildlands. He showed the HDR build of the Xbox One, and he played around on it for about 15 minutes, and then he turned that off and he switched it. He turned it on to the HDR build of the Ghost Recon of PS4, and he said, "Yeah, this looks better. It has this, and this." Well, the Xbox community attacked him, saying that you had it was raining on the Xbox version and stuff like that. And I had to tell the guy that typed that comment. I said, Ghost Recon has dynamic weather, so he can't control what weather happens. So boycott Destiny 2 for what? I mean, so Microsoft snubs Sony last gen for crossplay with PSN. Okay, now I didn't know that. I did not know that. So, I mean, again, but I was on the 360 last gen. So when am I getting my PC? I'm in the midst of getting a, well, actually, let me tell you about I'm going to order a case for it. Oh man, I can't pull that up now. I've got everything in my little box at Amazon. I just have to go ahead and buy it. But I've got the case coming in. I got that for $33, and it's a mid-tier case. And but I'm still building it. I got my Patreon going for the build. So, like I said, it's a $1 build, $1 to pledge to the Patreon. So, but I'm working on it. It's going to take a while because I have no idea what I'm doing Call of Duty. But thanks for asking. I am going to do it. I don't want people to think it's not going to happen. It's going to take me, add you sub on Steam. Add my Steam. Oh, on Steam? Like, oh yeah, when I get it built, I sure will. So I sure will, yeah. Steam, yeah. Well, the only game I'll be playing once that thing is up and running is Star Citizen. I can tell you that right now. and I'll play the Forza games and stuff like that. I'll play a lot of the Microsoft games when I get the PC. But shout out to, like I said, J-Dub, because he donated the graphics card. I got the tower and it's an ATX. Oh man, you're gonna make me look at my Twitter page, but I don't know if I can. Actually, yeah, I can. Hold on. Let me tell you what I got coming in here. Up here. But yeah, let me getting back to the Xbox stuff. Those guys are just frustrated and disappointed. And like I said, now you're starting to hear the dreaded on Twitter. So shout out to him. Now you're going to start hearing things like, my corporate sabotage and all this kind of stuff. But let me read you all what I got here. Come on, pull up. Okay. It's and you can tell me Call of Duty, this is pretty good. Shout out to Kratos, because he's helping me get all this together as far as what works with what. But it's the ASRock Micro ATX DDR3 2400 FM2 motherboard. And the gaming ATX case, it's a Roswell ATX case, mid-tower case with blue LED fan. It says gaming case for PC with side window panel, 3 fans pre-installed, 3 USB ports, and that's what I've got in my cart for Amazon. So let me know if you think that's pretty good. Just let me know. So, all right, let me come back to where I was. But yeah, so you're starting to hear anti-consumerism with the Xbox community because they want those games. It wouldn't surprise me if they try to start to, get against Sony. It would not. Don't be shocked if they're, because you're going to start hearing anti-consumerism. You're going to start hearing all that kind of stuff because they want those games. And yeah, to me, they should be grown-ups and go trade in their consoles and get a PlayStation 4. But they act like they don't want to do it. So, yeah, they act like they don't want to do it. So it's disappointing. And they're disappointed because, yeah, look, they thought they were going to get games like Horizon and stuff like that. So yeah. So what CPU and GPU are you getting? I'm not for sure. It's here, Jada. I forgot the name of the GPU that he donated for. It's been a while. So CPU, I haven't gotten that far yet. So I'm getting best version. Exclusives are anti. Yeah. Do you think exclusive? This is for everybody. Do you think exclusives are anti-consumer? Because to me, exclusives for me are what sells a console. So. Yeah, Inko says, remember how concerned the Xbots were that Sony was going to. Yeah, again, because they they were really concerned with what Sony was doing. Now, of course, now that, hell, remember the time when Rocket League came out and it was this little bitty indie game and they made fun of it? I said this last night. The Xbox community made fun of it. They said that, oh, well, look, Sony doesn't have any games. You're playing Rocket League and that game is garbage and all that kind of stuff and it's trash. But as soon as they got their hands on it, they changed their tune. So that's my point. So play GTA 5 on my PlayStation. If I don't have it right now, I can go and get it though. So, but I created a character on GTA 5 for the online thing. I just didn't understand the whole online thing. So, but I heard it's its own world. So I heard that's the GTA 5 online. They said it's its own world. So, I may be looking into getting that. So yeah. The Kingsby says exclusives are essential. PC elitists think exclusives are anti-consumer, but they have exclusives on PC. You don't see any Sid Meier games. You don't see on console. You don't see Star Citizen on console. You don't see you see Eve Valkyrie, but you don't see Eve Online on console. That's exclusive to PC. It is World of Warcraft exclusive to PC. So again, who cares what the PC community thinks? So they need to get a console. Yeah, soccer cars. Yeah, Rocket League, soccer cars, whatever you want to call it. So I agree. I think exclusives do matter. So because that's what sets your console apart from everything else. Nothing else sets you apart from that. So GTA 5 PC, a whole new game. Okay. Yeah, I'm a while away from having that. What I wanted to do and what I'm doing followed, and this is for anybody that wants to understand the PC thing. I'll probably just be able to buy one to two things a month. So, but the GPU is already here. I got the anti-static cord. I'm going to order the case and the tower, mid-tier tower, and the motherboard. I'm wanting to order that on Friday. God willing, I'm going to order that Friday. It's already in my little Amazon cart in my, when you go to put in how you're going to pay for it. I'm going to see if I can use I'm going to either get a PayPal or I don't know. I'm not for sure. I'm not for sure how that's going to work. So I'm hoping to get that order, and then I can look at the CPU. Then I'll look at the CPU. So yeah. Shout out to a couple people that said that PC gaming changed their life, and I'm looking forward to it. But I also understand I'm a man of limited means, and I'm doing that PC build more for the community, for the kids, so that the young kids can see me trying to do it, and maybe that inspire them to try to do something different than steal and sell drugs. And I mean, when you have a marketable skill like building a computer or having the at least beginning knowledge on how to build one, you now have a marketable skill, and that to me is more important. But I understand. So GTX, 970 and AMD. Okay, yeah. What's going on, Mr. Francis? Thanks for coming in yesterday. So, GTX 970. Now, I know there's a 980 and 980 Ti. So, is that generationally? That's like what, 2 or 3 generations? Oh, yeah, I guess I can. Yeah, I can borrow that Ryzen Vega CPU, but that was part of their disappointment. That was part of the disappointment. So the Ryzen Vega CPU, yeah, I will never forget that. I see that thing in my sleep, for God's sake. So, but understand that they're disappointed in the Xbox too, but they're willing to stick with them. Remember what what y'all are calling him, Loaf Storm or Halo Storm, was saying last night? He trusts Microsoft implicitly. So that's where he is, and that's where a lot of their community is. So, they're more concerned. They want, and shout out to Hard 8, because Hard 8 said they're not concerned with games. They're concerned with being able to have bragging rights. That's where they are. Okay, so you got that. So they're frustrated that they don't have bragging rights. They're frustrated that they don't have the same games. Their GPU for NVIDIA goes with 9 and 10. Okay. Yeah, D-Batch ain't going to never live that down. And remember, D-Batch said he has stock in AMD and he was told this and that. And I can tell you this, the next PlayStation will have a Ryzen CPU because that's the next generation after Polaris. So, and that's what Sony will do. They'll build a Vega Ryzen CPU. Now, the Pro already has a lot of Vega in it. It already has a lot. That CPU is already in it. So, but again, that's not what this is about. So understand their frustration. Understand that when they get kicked in the balls by Cliff Bleszinski, who did Bulletstorm, who did Gears of War, he's Quake, all that stuff is from Cliff, and he was an Xbox connoisseur. Okay, he was their guy. It would be like, I don't know, the Neil Druckmann from Naughty Dog going over to Xbox, so, but it's a big deal. And understand we are, it's frustrating for them because they can say, well, Sony showed you a bunch of games that you all don't have the ability to play. And, like they didn't show Sea of Thieves 2 years ago. They showed Crackdown in 2014, for Christ's sake, so, I mean, that's why I call bullshit on them. But you all got to understand how frustrated it is to be in that camp and not have no games. So it's are you getting Neo? Yeah. But like I said, I'm a man of limited means, so I've got to play the games I got. So I need to play and beat Nier Automata. Then when I beat Nier Automata, I'll trade that in on Neo. And Neo, after Neo, then I'll play Persona. Then after Persona, I'm going to assume it's going to be August. And after I play Persona, then I'll get the Uncharted game. That's my plan. That's my summer, how it works out. Yeah, Quake Champions, that's by Cliffy B. And understand that the Quake engine is a lot like the engine that was run on Doom, but the Quake engine allows you to do a little. I think there was something on Doom you couldn't do, but you could do with Quake. But yeah, Neo. I've heard nothing but great things about Neo. Our Persona 5 is arguably the best game this generation. That's what I've heard. So, but yeah, just understand their frustration. That's why they're hollering anti-consumerism. That's why you got Crap Gamer making videos saying that Sony turned down. It's not a shot at Crap Gamer. It's just his videos about Sony, the Viagra voice of YouTube. Okay. As long as I'm not starring in a Viagra commercial, that's all I got to say. And let me tell you something about Viagra. That's a serendipitous discovery because they were giving people Viagra for eyes, to help your eyes, because people were having trouble seeing. And they kept getting these reports back that, well, my eyesight's still crappy, but man, I got wood all night long. So they isolated that how it does that, and then you got Viagra. So it is what it is. So, and the stock of that company, I think it was Johnson & Johnson, shot up 800%. So that's a true story about Viagra. So you pre-ordered all PS4 exclusives this year. Okay, that's I guess what's the next big exclusive? Would it be the Uncharted game? And this year, look how well these JRPGs have sold. Somebody mentioned Persona outselling Halo Wars. Well, so did Nier Automata. It outsold it. So did Yakuza. It outsold Halo Wars. So I mean, that's frustrating as an Xbox. It's somebody who has an Xbox One S. Viagra was serendipitous. So, well, it started out as a blood pressure medicine, though. Well, all right. Well, I thought it started out as eye, but it could be blood pressure. That's cool. It's serendipitous, though. Yeah, that's my point. Is that it's serendipitous. But I got you, Andrew. Oh yeah, and Andrew. Shout out at me since you're in the chat. If you still want me to try to do the PayPal thing Friday. Or just let me know. All right, just let me know if you still want me to do that, or if you're thinking a different way, or you may have changed your mind. But that's cool. So shout out to Andrew. He's thinking about making a PayPal thing up. So that's cool if he does, and if not, keep coming back. Yeah. All right. So Crash Bandicoot's coming. Now I was horrible at Crash Bandicoot on that on Uncharted 4, and I don't know if you all played Uncharted 4, but within that game, Nathan Drake and his wife sat down on the couch and played Crash Bandicoot. So you were playing a game within the game. That's amazing. That's innovative, So, okay, that's fine, Andrew. Yeah. Now I got to work Friday and Saturday. So yeah, but I'll do that. There's no problem. That's no problem. But a shout out to everybody there, but try to understand their disappointment in that system. I mean, my Xbox One S, after Gears of War, after Forza, there's nothing else. I mean, I played Elite Dangerous on there, but then I got winded. Does anybody know when Elite Dangerous is coming to the PlayStation 4? I mean, because they're supposed to have all the DLC and everything. Now, once that comes to PlayStation 4, I'm buying that day one. Shout out to you, Show Enough, for real. Appreciate you. So somebody just tweeted me. So appreciate you, Show Enough. So what's going on, Mr. Moore? But so they're disappointed and they're frustrated. And if they don't have a good E3, which I think they will have a good E3, but if they don't have a good E3, hit that like button. If y'all want to, that's fine. Let me go ahead and hit my like button for myself. But if they don't have a good E3, they're going to short circuit. I mean, that's what I was saying last night with that with Halo, with Loaf Storm. Y'all are calling me Halo Storm. you can't be disrespectful to him, because all you can do is kind of shake your head and just understand that he was saying all kind of stuff. Oh my God. Well, Renee Hugh, how would you know that it feels good? That's all I can say. How do you know it feels good, Renee? So a beta is coming for Yakuza. All right. Yeah, I mean, see, that's something I haven't even been able to get to the other one yet. I have not been able to get to the other one yet. And you got to understand, look at it on the PlayStation side. We are complaining about having too much shit to do. I mean, it's not that, and I have a life outside of, all this and playing games. And yeah, this is the 5th day of my vacation. I'm off tomorrow as well. But we are complaining about too much to play, and they don't have nothing. And I'm not, that's the truth. Yeah, RBI Baseball, I got that. Voodoo Vince, I mean, Phantom Dust, I'm glad Phantom Dust was free to play. Let's put it like that. It was free to play. So, yeah, and shout out to J-Dub. He said Farpoint is a system seller. But I don't have PlayStation VR, but I've heard nothing but good things about Farpoint. So, yeah, hashtag PS4, yeah, exclusive backlog. So, and again, that's why I'm saying to you guys, the 33-minute mark to the 39-minute mark of that TXR. So shout out to Randall Thor and the rest of that crew. There's no diss on them, but listen to the frustration in that from the 33-minute mark to about the 38, 39-minute mark. That's just flat out frustration. And those are Xbox guys. And some of them do Xbox and PC. He's there. He was frustrated. Randall Thor's video earlier in the day yesterday, he was frustrated. They're all frustrated. They attacked Cliff Bleszinski, for Christ's sake. So it's boiling over. Now you're hearing words like anti-consumerism and how come we don't have these games on the Xbox One. I mean, you're actually hearing that. TXR podcast yesterday, a couple of those guys called for Phil Spencer's head because they ain't getting no marketing deal. So it just, that's the truth, y'all. That's what's going on. So as Natalie Imbruglia said in Torn, there's nothing where it used to lie, and inspiration has gone dry. That's what's going on. So that's a frustrated group of people, guys. So just if you see them just going nuts in the chat rooms and the comment sections and stuff like that, just understand they're really speaking out of frustration and the disappointment, the frustration has led to anger. The anger has led to them saying, anti-consumerism of Sony. And I'm telling you right now, it would not shock me if they tried to start some type of lawsuit petition saying that Sony needs to bring these games to Xbox RL. So, to me, you should just walk into the store and get an Xbox. Or if you have an Xbox, just get rid of your Xbox. Just get rid of it. Okay. Like I said, I gave mine to my brother. He's a firefighter, so they kept it for a while, but shit, they got tired of it. Just think about that. They fighting fires and stuff, but they were kind of like, well, it's okay, but it's nothing that big. It's not that big a deal. So and understand the Xbox community, because Halo Storm, this whole thing of blaming the media. It's not the media's job to sell the Xbox One to people. You can blame Alien, the Alien movie, Alien Covenant bombed. I thought 42 million was good. Garbage. That movie was supposed to make 64 to 68 million. Garbage. It bombed. This is just movie news. It popped in my head. Joss Whedon, the same guy that directed, he did the Avengers and he did Age of Ultron as well. He did both Avengers movies. He's going to direct Justice League now. Zack Snyder has stepped down. He's had a unfortunate death of his daughter. She died. Very sad circumstance. So he's no longer in the DCEU. He's done. He's that's what's going on with the movie news. But yeah, Alien Covenant bombed. There will be no Alien sequel, as my understanding. They may, if it does, it'll go right to Blu-ray, one of those things, or right to the red box. So So yeah, it's yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, now Injustice, I've heard real good things about again, but that's on both consoles. So, but look at the Xbox. All right, this year, so the big multiplat that's come out. Well, you all just mentioned Injustice 2. Injustice 2 and Mass Effect. Now I know Mass Effect was disappointing, but that's the big multiplat game so far, and it looks and runs better on the PlayStation. That's frustrating for those guys, and understand. So it bombed worse than Halo Wars 2. It was pretty. It's a pretty bad. It's a dud. It's sad, man. I don't know what they're going to do at this point. It's just like they didn't market it wide enough for people. Kind of like Halo Wars 2. So yeah. So they're working out of a sense of disappointment and frustration, and I keep saying that because that's what it is. And so now it's gone into, they went after Cliff Bleszinski yesterday. Now you're going to start seeing depression sink in. Yeah, Voodoo Vince. Yeah. And look, Voodoo Vince, and I think somebody put Sea of Thieves. Those are not going to sell consoles. That's their issue, is that those games are nice, but they're not going to sell consoles. Sony is coming out with just banger after banger. Yeah, shout out to Fall of Duty. I was going to break that at the end of the podcast, but he got it. BioWare has announced another Dragon Age. So now, do you have any faith in it because of the other 3 Dragon Ages being real good? But remember, the first 3 Mass Effects were good too, and then they came out with this stuff that I'm playing right now. So, and the only reason I went back to play it is because I created a cute girl off of some YouTube videos, and I want to throw a hump into that girl's Suvi. If you all play Mass Effect, she's a navigator. So yeah, I keep hearing about shout out Sharon Moore because he brought up Sucker Punch, and so Sucker Punch, they didn't make Infamous, did they? But I keep hearing about Sucker Punch. Now, it's Sucker Punch and their CD Projekt Red. And CD Projekt Red is supposed to have a new IP there too, aren't they? Are allegedly supposed to be at E3. But E3's in, 19 days for Sony, 18 days for Microsoft. Phil Spencer did say that he's done a walkthrough of the Microsoft stage, and they're excited about it. So that's all you can really be. I'm real excited. I'm excited for Scorpio because it will push everything forward, I hope. I hope. So yeah, they did. So yeah, they did. Yeah. They did what? Yeah, they did. Sucker Punch, we're gonna do. Okay, so that's great. That's fine. Yeah, that is interesting. So yeah, those open world RPGs, man. The Witcher is so good, and so is not. I wanted to say Persona 5, and I played it. So is Horizon Zero Dawn. This Horizon's phenomenal. So Atlas is making a new PS4. Okay, well. Persona, I've heard nothing but great things about, so shout out to Atlas. And Sony's got studio after studio after studio. They've got, me as a consumer, I'm excited about the Sony purchase. Now, Sony did come out today and say that the Pro only targeted at PS4 owners. That's what the Pro did. And I don't know what the Pro sales were like. I know it's doing good, but they did not market the Pro to the masses. So like they did the regular PS4, the Slim. Like they did the Slim. So yeah, well, I'll go check out Rand Outdoors on the video. I got nothing against Rand Outdoor. I like him personally. I just don't understand the constant complaining when you have the ability to trade in your Xbox. But there again, you all go listen to that podcast. So shout out to them. Yeah, Infamous, if you don't know, is Sony's first 1080p game. So everybody should have Infamous and First Light because those are the very first 1080p console games ever made, I believe. So somebody can check me out on that. I may be wrong about that. But so the guys, going back over this again, so I appreciate everybody being here. But just remember, the Xbox community, they're frustrated, they're disappointed, and it all stems from they want the same games that Sony has, and they thought they were going to get games. Yeah, he has a million gamer point. He's got way more points than me, but I got other shit I got to do. So, but shout out to him for having that. Nothing wrong with that. So, yeah, big time gamer. So, So let me ask you all in the chat, if I didn't before, do you all think Destiny, what do you think Destiny is going to be on Scorpio? Do you think it's going to be 4K 60 or 4K 30? So, because to me, if it's 4K 30, it's not a bad thing. So pray for Xbox. Look, I don't want nothing bad to happen to the Xbox. I got an Xbox One S for Dragon, for Scalebound. But Scalebound got canceled, so I went and bought Elite Dangerous because it was $19. So Elite Dangerous is fun to play, but now they say it's coming to the PlayStation 4. So if it's coming to the PlayStation 4, I'll just play it on that. So Killzone single player was 1080, Killzone multiplayer was dynamic resolution. So when did Killzone come out? Oh, yeah, Killzone was a launch. Yeah, it was 1080p. You're right. But I think Infamous deployed more assets, though. But you're probably right. Yeah, 4K 30 on Scorpio will still look good. Yeah, I mean, but my point about this is about that game on the Scorpio was that they're more concerned with what it runs than us being excited that it's coming out. They're not even excited about it coming out. Like you all said, they're talking about boycotting it. So I stand corrected on Infamous. So thank you, Andrew. I appreciate it. That's why you guys are here. So that's why I love it. So Xbox, but yeah, I mean, look, and there were people who said you could walk into the house and turn, like Cycle Gamer said, he liked going into his house and saying Xbox on. Well, if I had a Samsung 7100 series TV, so my Samsung TV was already voice activated, and if you have the HDMI cable in HDMI 1, which is your primary source, if you said it would turn everything on. I mean, this would, if I had a Blu-ray hooked up to it or V8 or VCR, it would just turn it on when I would walk into the house and say TV on. Because I had to react to my voice. So, all right, check my Twitter. Okay, I will. I appreciate it. So yeah, they've so they're reacting out of frustration and disappointment, but you're watching, what is it called, the 7 things of death or of depression. So if Randall Thor did a video about Sony's dominance, he's in acceptance. He is in an acceptance mode right now. So, but I'll give him a big shout out. I'll see if I can get him onto Craig's Corner. And like I said, shout out to Porter Rock. Porter Rock did a real good video about an hour ago. Go check that video out. Yes, VCR. I know it's an old one. I know I'm an old man though. VCR and beta VCR and all that stuff. I remember all that crap. So, but yeah, so shout out to Titanfall Princess. Definitely thinking about her. Porter Rock 77. Go check that video out. Shout out to Randall Thor and the TRX podcast. Please go listen to that podcast if you just want to listen from the 33-minute mark to the 39 to 40-minute mark, you will hear some serious frustration about it. Yeah, now to me, Dwayne makes a good point. I brought this up the other day to Widowmaker. What's wrong with 4K 30? I mean, I don't understand that. I mean, what's wrong with that? So that, I had a VCR, but ain't nobody using one on an yeah, well, no. My mom still has a VCR downstairs. That's where she watches her Scarecrow and Mrs. King. She loves Scarecrow and Mrs. King. So, so yeah, she has an HD TV and she still watches VHS movies. So, I was just happy that she got the big TV. She got the big curved TV and, all that good stuff. 120 hertz. She got it for $799.99 at HH Greg. So shout out to HH Greg. That's where I got a couple things from H. That's where I got my PlayStation at. So they're out of business now. So, but yeah, shout out to all you guys coming in. Big shout out to, Sharon and Andrew, keeping it real. I appreciate you all being here. Renee with the crazy comments. Dwayne, appreciate you coming in, my brother. Superfly. Y'all stay blessed and y'all stay cool. I'm going to get on out of here. It's about 9 o'clock. So I'm going to get back and watching my Hulu shows. I'm watching this show called Legends on Hulu. It's pretty damn good. So But I'm gonna get back on that. But I appreciate it. But yeah, go check that out. And remember, the Xbox community, they're disappointed and frustrated too. So I'm asking you guys, try not to rub it in too much. I get it. Everybody likes to pop shots at them and stuff like that. But they're frustrated with that console, and it's starting to come out now. And I'm now hoping they have a real good E3. If I get my PC built, if I'm able to get all that together, I'm going to go ahead and PS4 has what? Yeah, it has. Yeah, but that's not a big thing though. It does have voice and marketing or voice and face recognition. Yeah, it's always had that. It's just that was kind of one of those things that I've always said. When you get your steak, you always get a side with the steak, and voice recognition is this. Voice and face recognition, that's just part of the that's the side of the steak. So, but yeah, everybody take it. Go ahead and hit the I appreciate it, man. Go ahead and sub, and I appreciate it. Hit the like button. I guess that's a big deal in the community. And like I said, I got my go check out this YouTube thing down here in my description. It is the TRX podcast. I believe that is the correct one. And just go check that out. And like I said, hit me up on Patreon if you all want to. It's Craig Harris 88. It's $1 for the donation. Chump change for a G, as Fox would like to say. But shout out again to One Stop for Gamers, Cycle Gamer, Widowmaker, Gamers United, everybody in the chat there. Bear Hugger 29. Red Infamy. Go check out her channel. She's doing really good things on her channel. Weapon Wheel podcast. That's the crazy. I love that. That's my guilty pleasure. Gamer Lives Matter. JD33. All you guys. I appreciate everybody coming in. Appreciate all the support. Appreciate you talking to you guys and you guys hitting me up and things like that. Shout out to Wolf Flow because I talked to him earlier about the whole Mass Effect debacle. Big shout out to him. So I'm gonna go ahead and check my Twitter now. So you all stay blessed and you all take it easy. This has been Craig Harris of Craig's Corner. Team, the frustration and disappointment of the Xbox community. You all take it easy. Peace.